Good morning, guys. So this is the part 2 series to the BMW, and it has been a while, but I figured I would get on now, and we are going to talk about it. But first, a message from our sponsor. Just kidding. You thought I had a sponsor. Nope, still doing this by myself. And then don't forget to hook up your hose. All right, guys, I am losing daylight. That is how you do a valve cover gasket grommet kit in a 2005 BMW Z4. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I only really needed a 10 and an 8mm socket and a flathead screwdriver. But I am losing daylight, so I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, good morning. So we are going to take the BMW into work today. I work in the automotive field, so I'm gonna get the fluids all done in this. It is the next day, it's overcast. I am gonna head into work, so let's get this battery hooked back up because I forgot that last night. I got my OBD reader. We are going to scan it and see what is up. All right, guys, so it looks pretty good. We're fueling up now. Temp's looking good. The tire light I gotta fix and the brake I gotta fix, but other than that, everything else is looking pretty good. No more check engine light, so we will see. I'm gonna go run it through the car wash and then off to work. So we are at the car wash. I am just wanting to make sure that any of these seals around the windows, if the top has a leak anywhere, if the trunk has a leak anywhere, because when I get to work, I'm gonna just pop all the doors and see if I have any sort of a leak going on. That's all I gotta say about that. We're just gonna get this wash done and then go from there. Head on into work. I got a little leak right here, but that is literally right where the top meets the door jamb. So that's common because it's hard to seal the roof to the A-pillar. But I don't see any other leaks. The other door is looking great. I think we got a winner. Let this bad boy air dry. Oh man, I don't have any wipes. Dang it, I should have brought some wipes. I would have wiped it down, but when I got some slow time, I'm gonna pull it in, check under the car. I have a sneaky suspicion that they used a forklift to move this in the auction yard because I hear something dragging down there, but we'll find out. Basically what we're gonna do is rotors, pads, and then the wires. We don't have any leaks coming from the caliper itself, which is good. I bought a kit through Detroit Axle, which is nice. They sell a complete kit for almost every single make, model, year. But as you can tell, this wire is completely torched. And that is why we are getting the brake pad wear indicator light on the dash and the check engine light. So we're gonna get all this swapped out, get that replaced, and then go from there. We'll rescan the OBD and clear the codes and see if that's going to be it, or if we might have another code pop up. But until then, it's going to be a 16mm back of the caliper. Get a flathead screwdriver in here, pry this up to open it up a little bit, and then that should come off. Get in on the inside of the rotor edge, slowly put pressure on it. And what we're doing is we're opening that caliper back up to accept the new pads. You want to go slow because you don't want to push the seal, and you don't want to go too fast to bury that piston in bad, nasty stuff. And we'll get a hammer, knock it off the face, pull this Allen. Then give it a couple love taps. And then off she comes. Now, the cool thing is, brakes can actually tell you a lot. As you can tell, there's a pretty heavy groove here, and that groove has fresh metal. So that's a good indication that this had multiple pad slaps without ever replacing these rotors, because you have a very tall lip. I mainly wanted to do the front brakes because I saw this and realized that these definitely needed to be replaced, because if you go and try to machine a new face on these, it's going to be super thin for the metal, and as this metal gets thinner and thinner, it can't dissipate that heat as well as a new thick rotor can. So out with the old, rain's starting to show up, which is fantastic. So make for a delightful day out here. But it is what it is. One side is done. Now I just got to get this wheel back on and get it lowered. We'll go over to the other side, jack it up, do the same thing. The nice thing is that there are other things that you could do. Yes, you could do calipers, you know, added cost. These are not leaking. These are perfectly fine. Calipers you only really need to replace when you start having issues, whether or not seals are failing or you have metal on metal contact that's actually damaging the caliper. We don't have this in either instances, so we're going to have the best pads on it as per the manufacturer spec, and then we're also replacing all of our brake pad wear indicator wires. Get this tire on and then off to the other side. Now, vehicles with lug studs, you want to make sure that that wheel is centered on that hub before lowering it onto the ground to torque, because you want to make sure that that wheel is going to be centered. And snug them up. All right, off to the other side. The nice thing is the car only has one brake pad wear indicator per axle. You have a front and you have a rear. The nice thing is that we don't have to worry about a wire on this side, because it's not even provisioned for a wire inside this junction box here. So most likely that other wire is going to be for the rear. So we're going to bust this brake service out. We're going to double check the rear one out back. Worst case scenario, we can swap it in really quick. But yeah, let's get this side done too. how you do front brakes on a 2005 BMW Z4. And then we have to break these in. Now, breaking in, there's such a huge myth on what needs to be done and how to do it. The way that I do it is you drive a little bit, then you hit your brakes, you up to like 30 miles an hour. The big thing is to not stop and let the brakes soak in one spot. So you slow down, then you speed up, and then you start going a little faster, brake a little harder, but you just don't want to stop. You don't want to leave that heat on the pads, as well as leaving that heat in one area on the rotor. We'll get the tire on it. All right, clean the yard up a little bit, and then we will get the OBD scanner, see if we can reset the codes, get the check engine light and the brake pad wear indicator light off of the dash, and then off to Les Schwab. We're gonna get a retorque done. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna get in here. See if we can get these reset real quick. Read codes, current data trouble codes, yes, and clear race, yes, emissions on, and then sweet. So we got rid of our brake pad wear indicator light as well as the check engine light. Now we gotta take it for a spin, but first I gotta get my car out of the way. All right, guys, so we just got back. The car's actually doing very well now, so brakes feel fantastic. There is also, for some reason, the car doesn't have either mirror, but we did get a kit that comes with replacements. So I'm gonna go grab those really fast, and then we'll get those installed as well. Okay, so to get the factory mirrors off, just turn the vehicle on, put the mirror all the way down. You'll be able to see in here. I can actually see it right now. There's a little ring. If you move that ring to the, it's going to be to the left or to the right. I don't remember. I'll have to figure that out. But you move that ring and it actually dislocates the glass from the actual housing. So just got to look in here real quick. And looks like it goes clockwise. Yeah, so it looks like it goes clockwise, so I'm just going to push down on the ring, and there we go. Then you got two wires in here for your glass warmer. Disconnect those, then grab your new lens. The cool thing is the aftermarket set, you don't need to operate this ring. So these rings, I mean, they'll be nice to have if you want to put factory glass back in it, but as you can tell, the glass is completely gone out of them, so these are trash. And then the ring pops off like that. This gets thrown away. New lens. I'm gonna get these guys down and around, and then these New lenses actually snap right onto the housing. And then we just have to turn the vehicle back on and get all these lined up. All right, guys, so I've been driving this now for about 2 weeks, and we continuously have a check engine code that's popping up due to the engine running lean. Now, with that being said, the easiest way to do this is to isolate and figure out what that code means and what you need to be looking for. So we're gonna get into that right now. There's an area in the car that has an air leak between here and the cylinder head. So what we have to do is we got to figure out what is causing the source of the leak. So we need to look and inspect, make sure all of these look good. Make sure everything looks good. Oh, and I see an issue right there. So this is allowing extra air to get into the engine, which is causing that check engine light to pop on. With that check engine light popping on, we need to get this boot replaced. Now, this feels like a one-piece unit, so all we have to do, I feel like we can just get these clamps undone here, pull this clamp here. We might be able to sneak in there and get it pulled off the throttle body, because it is down there quite a ways. If I can get you guys down in here. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it goes right into the throttle body. I have a replacement that I have been waiting on to show up, and it finally showed up today. So we are going to swap that off and then clear the check engine codes. So here we go. All right, guys. So it looks like we have a couple clamps here. We have this clamp, these two clamps, and then a clamp down at the throttle body. So let's just get these undone real quick, and then we can get this upper boot off. All right, so upper hose is off. Don't want to lose this clamp. And then now our lower hose. Looks like I need a short flathead, so let me go grab that real quick. And then here's the old boot. As you can tell, that's where it was leaking from. So we're just gonna reuse these band clamps because these are actually a really nice premium style clamp. And then here's the replacement. What you always want to do, you always want to just verify everything is similar, everything looks the same. Pose a problem, but it also looks like it's just a sleeve which we can pull out. Everything else looks similar, so let me pull this sleeve off and clamp off. Get this sleeve out. There we go. Sleeve is out. And then that opens up to the same boot diameter and the same. So everything's looking good. We'll get the new one put on. Alright guys, so now that we got everything attached down here, the small boot is attached, clamped down, large intake at the throttle is clamped down, got the up pipe clamped, so everything's looking good there. So now we have to go and clear the engine running lean code. So in here, we're going to just plug in the OBD port and accessory power on. And then we are going to go into data trouble codes. Yes, read codes, current, system 2 lean. Cool, that's the only code we got. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna erase this. All right, so that was cleared. So now we just gotta shut the vehicle off and then go ahead and start it up for me. All right, so check engine light is gone. Still have a tire monitor system. Unfortunately, that's something that the sensor has to get replaced, but everything else has actually looked pretty good. Let's get the hood shut and go take it for a spin, make sure that that does not pop back on. So we're gonna go take this for a quick rip. Yeah, summer is definitely here. We left off with basically me getting the air intake boot installed on the BMW. Well, that video was actually shot 3 weeks after I actually sold the car. When we go back over the last 2 months, it has been crazy over here. I actually am going to explain that in another video. But for now, this is the BMW part 2 video, so we're going to get just right into it. So with that being said, the video that you guys just watched is probably going to be me taking it through the car wash, getting the fluids done, getting the front brakes and wear pad indicators serviced. In between part 1 and this video, the car actually sold. It sold to a friend. It sold for $2,000 less than what I wanted out of it. And the main reason why is because if he wants to drive it around for a year or two and then list it, if it still has low miles, he'll still make $1 grand or $2 off the deal. So I'm making money off of it. He's potentially going to make money off of it. We're both happy and satisfied. We'll just dig into the dollar values here. With all of the money spent on the car, so I have $250 for the car, $85 for the tow, $225 for a key, $159 for the battery. We picked up the valve cover gasket for $45. The brake kit we got on Amazon for $85, which was a steal. I couldn't find front brake parts, just rotors for under like 60 a piece, let alone rotors, pads, and wear indicators. Picked up the mirrors and the air intake boot. The mirrors were $32 and the air intake boot was $61. With the purchase of the car and getting the car home, that ended up being $942. Once I got the car running, I wanted to make sure that the car was okay, right? You want to make sure the car's okay before you start dropping dollars into something that you just bought at auction. So I threw a trip permit on it, filled it up technically twice during the time that we owned it here. And then I did spend about $130 worth of cleaning and detailing stuff for it because the interior was destroyed. I'll probably show a quick video of that here. But when we got the car, it literally looked like they were living in it. And they also had a dog or cat living in it with them. Anyways, when you factor in the $55 trip permit, the $150 worth of gas, roughly, I don't remember off the top of my head how many gallons it was. So I'm just factoring in 150 bucks for 2 Phillips. And then the $130 for the cleaning and detailing kit, which brings the grand total plus the price for the car and parts to $1,277. Now, with the vehicle's mileage only having about 70K on the clock, I was going to list it for around $8,000 to $9,000. Anytime you've listed a car on Marketplace, you know you're going to have people giving you a lower offer, plain and simple. So you give it a little higher price because you know they're going to talk you down. So I was well and all ready to get it listed and get it up online. And I had a friend reach out. They absolutely love the car. They have possibly bigger plans for the vehicle. I sold it to them for $6,000. That means I got just over $4,700 worth of profit out of the car. It is nice having that little extra cash flow because I did set that money aside for the bus because I want to get back working on the bus. The cool thing with this BMW is nobody wanted this at the auction house. Like, he started at $3,000 and worked his way down to $500. Nobody said anything. Nobody wanted to touch it because it was a BMW. I was like, you know what? $250. If the engine was completely destroyed or the transmission was completely destroyed, I've put small block Chevys in almost everything. So having a small lightweight chassis, that would have turned out to be one fun little coupe. But everything worked as it should. Everything operates as it should. He's getting an awesome car. We are going to have a lot of fun with it. I've recently been doing autocross events in the Mustang, and he wants to go do one as well. So you might see some videos coming up of us racing our cars, having fun. It's just another thing that I like doing and that I enjoy doing myself. So the way that this video is going to work out, it'll probably be like a 35-40 minute long video, maybe. I'm not 100% sure because it's not made yet, but I do appreciate you guys watching. I do know that a lot of you were wondering about this car. I did get a lot of messages on when the part 2 is going to come out because me and Liz have been wanting to do stuff together, and I also have been wanting to have some fun with my car. And there's just some stuff that I can't film because I'm driving my car, or it's just me, or we just want to take a weekend together and just enjoy us. We do have a lot of stuff we have to do around this property because summer is basically over. Like, it is the second or third weekend in July, and the end of September, the last 2 weeks of September, I don't even have as an option to film because I have other obligations I got to go do. And there's going to be a lot of videos regarding that, as well as helping some of our friends get their houses finished as well. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how well I'm doing. I know it's been a 2-month kind of hiatus of me not filming, but it just got too crazy, and we appreciate your continued views and watching us on the Atlas.Skoolie page. And one of these days we will get to that bus. That is our end goal. So thank you guys and take care. Peace.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast, and every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.